section of what we were doing, we were coming across something incredible, one that we could not normally do and probably is not being seen or spoken of world over, and two is like just transformational at the individual level as well.
Yeah. And that's not even the music.
Yeah, that's not.
The musical process. I wish that we had someone recording it
Mm-hmm.
because that could be a documentary in itself.
Mm-hmm.
The 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 synergy of the two sides just I remember you describing the first day of just like, okay, what are we going to do here? Like,
Mm-hmm.
how does this even work? Like, where do we begin from? I think it required a discovery of like the root of each side in order to find the common ancestor and then go from there. But it didn't require that.
Mm-mm.
Somebody plays something and the other person said, oh, I recognize something in there, let me start here. Okay, I recognize something in that, let me go with this. Even the key, remember that last discovery that you made about changing
The
something?
note.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So there's still so much. We haven't even answered your
I
question
know,
yet.
we're still like,
But one of the this is the perfect. There's like two things, three things I'm going to try to remember. The first is this is a perfect example of we literally just threw the musicians into a room together. When I tell you this song took us 2 sessions, I'm not kidding. This song took us 2 sessions. One where Gabe came in and we just kind of talked, we like played around, sang things. I spoke a little bit about jati formations, like specific compositions in our work. He spoke a little bit about specific compositions in his work, and we literally laid the outline down in 2 hours, 3 hours, with Aditi and Shraman and Mahesh, I think, or maybe just Aditi and Shraman, the sitarist and the vocalist. Then we had a larger session and we kind of looked at that structure and we just sang. I kid you not. I gave them the very basic gist of it. I was like, one after we recognized this, one of the things Atoy and I spoke about was, well, do we just have this like there's either two things happening here. One is either globally the movement of sound and movement dancing bodies through space is just happening at a larger level than we realize. We're not so isolated on this and we're just picking up from each other. Or, and probably it's a mix of both, is we are finding sort of this way that humans move that is almost divine, like almost just a movement pattern that lives inherently in the body, rhythms that live inherently in the mind and soul that carry us through time and across cultures. And so I gave them this little spiel, like this is what we're looking at, and that's it. That's all it took, and we literally sang it in like one round. And we talked very little about it, and it just kind of came together in a second 4 hour session. And that music is so amazing. And we're sitting here. I'll tell you the second example here, what Otto is talking about the note structure. So in Indian music, we have a melodic structure, ragam structure, like a set pattern and themes, like a personality almost to a melodic structure that we have to live within. Like there are rules and systems, you don't go outside of it. And we naturally, without even specifying what ragam we were going to do, which melodic structure we're going to do, we naturally settled on it. We discovered it later. And then we kind of had to, I was like, why does it sound so distinctly Afro-Cuban to me and has a little bit less of the Indian element? We realized the Afro-Cuban musicians were singing one note differently from the ragam that we had chosen afterwards. We chose the ragam afterwards. I want to remind everyone. We didn't even walk in with the ragam choice, which is typically how we'll start this. And so as soon as they change that one note, it now fits into the ragam structure, which is particular by accident. Essentially, we rolled onto this by trusting our musical instincts, by trusting our training, and by trusting the embodied history. And I'll go further to say this example really puts the pin in it. I think we were in our first session, and Gabe was trying to explain clave to me with numbers, and I was trying to explain takadimi takajunu to him. And we were both like dancing around. I swear, 20 minutes. We were just like looking at each other, like, it doesn't make sense. And then he just played it on his rhythm, his drum, and I was like, oh, got it. So it goes to show that these things are almost not meant to be academically verbalized or like explained through words, and the trusting of the body